Hey everyone, I'm Mr. Willis, and welcome back to You Will Love AP Gov. Thanks for joining me for another video on one of the required Supreme Court cases for AP U.S. government. Today we're exploring McCulloch versus Maryland, a landmark case that shaped the balance of power between federal and state governments. If you're taking notes for your AP class or prepping for the AP exam, remember to click on the link below and download the free guided notebook page to make it easier to follow along. Let's break it down. In 1816, Congress chartered the Second Bank of the United States as a means to stabilize the nation's economy and regulate currency. However, many states opposed the national bank, viewing it as an overreach of federal power. To push back, Maryland passed a law imposing a tax on the national bank's branch in Baltimore, arguing that the state had the right to regulate businesses operating within its borders. James McCulloch, the branch cashier, refused to pay the tax, leading to a legal battle that made its way to the Supreme Court. The court faced two major constitutional questions. First, did Congress have the authority to establish a national bank, even though the Constitution did not explicitly grant this power? Second, did Maryland have the power to tax a federal institution operating within its state? Chief Justice John Marshall, delivering the unanimous opinion of the court, affirmed that Congress did have the authority to establish the bank. He relied on the Necessary and Proper Clause, found in Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution. This clause grants Congress the ability to make laws that are necessary and proper for carrying out its enumerated powers, such as regulating commerce, levying taxes, and issuing currency. The court interpreted this clause broadly, arguing that Congress had implied powers beyond those explicitly stated in the Constitution. This established the doctrine of implied powers, which expanded federal authority. As for Maryland's tax, the court struck it down, citing the Supremacy Clause in Article 6 of the Constitution, which establishes that federal laws take precedent over state laws. Marshall famously stated that the power to tax involves the power to destroy, meaning that if states had the ability to tax federal institutions, they could essentially undermine federal authority. This decision reinforced the supremacy of the national government over the states. McCulloch versus Maryland is more than just an historic case. It's a cornerstone of American constitutional law. By affirming implied powers and reinforcing the supremacy of federal law, it influenced later decisions on issues like the New Deal and civil rights legislation, and shaped the way the U.S. government functions today. It reinforced the principle that the federal government has the flexibility to adapt to new challenges through implied powers. Today, the decision continues to impact debates over the limits of federal authority in areas such as healthcare, education, and economic regulation. And that's everything you need to know about McCulloch versus Maryland. You can click here for additional videos for AP U.S. government, and be sure to check out my videos on AP macroeconomics and AP microeconomics as well. If you found this video helpful, be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more content on AP government and economics. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time on You Will Love AP Gov.